Welcome to My Conversation, a presentation of KAIL-TV My Central Valley. Your host today is Austin Reed. So let's get My Conversation started.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to My Conversation right here on KAIL-TV My Central Valley. I'm Austin Reed. Thank you so much for joining us. Hope you've had a fantastic morning so far, and we're going to get the day started and continue it on. We've got a fantastic show for you coming up today. We're going to talk about defense. We have Rick Horowitz, a local defense attorney, in studio. We're going to talk about that. Also, we're going to have Barb and Sallow, good friends of KAIL. They're here to talk a variety of things. We'll get into that in just a bit. And Pastor Ed Forsyth with Bethel Community Church. And then we also have a musical guest here. So a big show ahead. Let's get things started and the conversation going. My audience, give a big round of applause to Rick Horowitz.
Hi.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Very good. Very good. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me again.
We have a lot to talk about.
Well, we do. We do. There have been a few things happening since the last time I was here. It was a different show then, I guess.
Yeah, but you've been another good friend of KAIL, and you come on, talk about Rick Horowitz Defense, Law Office of Rick Horowitz, and thank you for this magnet. I appreciate it. It's very cool. I like it.
The magnet actually is a reproduction of a patch that I wear on the back of my motorcycle vest, because I ride with a lot of different motorcycle riders. Obviously, it comes along with the territory. And those things just took off. I've actually been told that there are prosecutors in Fresno, Madera, other areas, including even the East Coast, who have my magnet on their file cabinet.
Really?
Yeah, I guess just in case they ever get into any trouble.
Hey, it makes sense. I like that. So you have the biggest news is kind of personal for you, and it's regarding the whole state of California, right?
Well, pretty much. The idea here is I just got elected as of January 1st. I started a 3-year term on the Board of Governors for the California Attorneys for Criminal Justice, and it's basically an organization that's related to the National Association for Criminal Defense Lawyers. And one of the things that we do is we help provide a way for criminal defense attorneys to connect with one another, but primarily also to become educated and continue with our ongoing education. For example, as I think I mentioned to you earlier, we're going to be having a capital case defense seminar coming up here in February.
Okay.
And that is actually a good opportunity for a lot of attorneys to get their ongoing education credits, because we have to keep up on those things. And this year we're going to San Diego, and we'll be having different seminars on different aspects relating to defending capital cases. So those are basically what known in the vernacular as death penalty cases.
Wow.
So,
and that's been in the news lately.
Yes,
here in California.
Yeah, there's been a few changes here.
Right.
So,
okay,
yeah.
so you're going to continue to get updates regarding that and kind of see how either things can change or what your viewpoint is and how to
right.
I guess.
Well, the focus is more on education. So for example, we have various classes that will, it lasts over the weekend. It's a long weekend coming up starting the 17th through the 21st. And basically we have classes on, what do you do when you have a gang case, or, how do you defend a case where, there are some other maybe not so nice things that happened along with the murder, which is not nice in the first place, right? Yeah. So. And we learn techniques for dealing with these different aspects, or new investigatory techniques, or we learn maybe a little bit about lab, how to use lab and forensic evidence, things like that.
So we were talking earlier as well, before the show started, about what makes you different as a local defense attorney.
Right. And
communication.
That's the key thing, communication. And that's part of my being here too, is communication. I want to try to get the word out to let people know what it is that I do, and not just in terms of that I'm a criminal defense lawyer, because a lot of people understand what a criminal defense lawyer is. Sure. But what they don't understand sometimes is that, we used to be called lawyers and counselors at law. And I take the counselor side of that really seriously. In fact, I also work with juveniles, and so I do juvenile delinquency law, which is basically when a juvenile has been charged with a crime, in addition to defending adults. And what I like to do is get in and work with them on counseling, helping them with learning goal setting, reading, things like that. But the communication is key. And what we were talking about earlier is that I've set up my whole office around that idea. So if you look at my office number, which 233-8886 in the 559 area code, and you can text to that number. And I can respond back by text if I need to. And what I tell my clients is, if I'm in court, I have an office person, but sometimes she's not available, or maybe she's doing something else for me. Or maybe it's just an emergency that, like yesterday I was in court, and one of my other clients was arrested somewhere else. His family texted me and let me know. And I texted them back to let them know, okay, I understand, I know what's happening, and as soon as I get out of this courtroom, I'll be making contact with you to see where we go next.
Because sometimes it's so critical. Timing is everything in law.
Right. Right.
And criminal cases especially.
Well, right. We were talking earlier about the fact that, for example, nobody plans this like you do with probate law or a family law case or something like that. People don't say, I think I'm going to go commit a crime next week, and I'm going to need to call Rick. So I better make an office appointment. So that goes back to the communication. My phones, as we talked about in the office, we have my phone, my office manager's phone. When somebody calls, they ring. If nobody answers within a few seconds, they also start ringing both our cell phones, not instead of, but in addition to. So you can answer any of the 4 phones. And then if the phone doesn't get answered, the call gets yanked back to the office manager's phone, drops to voicemail, and then that voicemail gets emailed to both of us.
So how many years have you been practicing law in the Central San Joaquin Valley?
Well, this is my 4th career. So when I was young, I had ADD, and I've moved through the alphabet to C. I'm on career deficit disorder now.
I know a lot of people like that.
But I've been doing this for about 10 years since I was sworn in, basically. And for a couple of years before that, I interned with a criminal law specialist. Wow. So.
Can you come back? We got to go to commercial. But
okay.
There's so much to talk about. So come back on My Conversation. Phone number, website, so people can get a hold of you? My
phone number is 559-233-8886. The website is rhdefense.com. So it's just RH for Rick Horowitz, defense.com.
All right. Everybody give Rick Horowitz a nice round of applause. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're watching My Conversation, and there's a lot more to talk about with other fantastic locals here in Central California on the other side of the break.